Hello everyone, welcome to the Boleyn Lounge. As you can see, I've got my regular co-host Mick Purdy with me. Hi Mick, how are you?
All right, Jeff, nice to see you, mate.
Yeah, and you. And got another guest with us this evening. We've got Tony from Early Doors TV. Thanks for joining us, Tony. Good to see you. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate, and thanks for the invite, Jeff, as always. It's a pleasure to be on with you too. This is going to be an interesting conversation, I do believe.
Good evening, how are you, buddy?
All good, Mick. All good. Good to see you as well, mate. It's been a while. A few weeks now.
Right, just going to sort of change my glasses to have a look who's in the chat. Barry's joined us again. Good to see you, Barry. Thanks for joining us. We're all good, thank you. Hope you're good, mate.
Evening, Barry.
And we'll get on with the show. So, well, we missed last week because I was at the Spurs game. So that was an enjoyable night out. Not as lively as I thought some of the West Ham Tottenham games have been, but a decent result for us after the Newcastle game, which we were just talking about before we came on air there. Disappointing to have lost that after being in the position we were in, but it is what it is. I don't think any of us think that Phillips should have been penalised the way he was for the penalty, and so that was kind of the turning point. Really, let them back in there, and well, we just capitulated a little bit, didn't we? And what a difference that would make to our league campaign if we had an extra 3 points on the board right now. I think our chances of European qualification would be, or holding on to 7th at least, would be a lot better. That's a huge 3 points drop there. I don't know what you guys think about that. Carry on, Mick.
Oh, sorry. Well, I just agree with what you just said there. I did look at the table again after they managed to get that draw against Liverpool, Man United. I'm thinking to myself, there's 2 results this year. They beat us 3-0 there a few weeks ago. It was never a 3-0 game. They just seem to get lucky at the right time, Man United, where we seem to just get unlucky. People say you make your own luck, but I think, I don't know. They're very lucky to be 6th at the moment, Manchester United. But at the end of the day, if you don't knock them off their perch, they'll stay there. So it's our own fault when it boils down to it. But we were talking off air before we came on, and as I said, I didn't blame Moisey at all for changing to what he did to hold on to the game. As I said earlier, I just think the players let him down. He gets he got a lot of stick after the game. I see in different places. I thought that's not right. Yeah, not everyone's his biggest fan. I get that, but you can't blame him for everything. Players let him down. So then 3 points went. They get a lucky draw on Sunday. They should have been beaten. They should have been out of sight by half time, Man United, but they weren't. And yeah, ultimately, they picked up a lucky point and we threw 3 away. So that's where we are. I'm still convinced that we can be 6th, not 7th. I think Manchester United are catchable, but we have to do our business. We're not doing that completely at the moment. But yeah, I'd like to see us finish 6th. And I think we're capable.
What were your views on the Newcastle game, Tony? Do you see it the same way, or do you see it a bit differently?
I think it's just, when you look at Anthony Gordon, he clearly knew what he was doing when he did that challenge, when Phillips kicked him, because I agree with what we said earlier on. There was no way that was a penalty. Phillips didn't know where he was in the first place. Gordon's turned his body and planted his foot on the ground. And as soon as he's done that, Phillips is already following through with the ball. But he's obviously clipped Anthony. But the fact that we capitulated within 7 minutes of that decision, of that goal going in, I don't know why we just folded like a pack of cards. We should have held on to that lead. And, even if it was 3-2, that's what it should have stayed. But to lose it as we did, well,
2 great goals, but shouldn't have been.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the only kind of thing I say, Mick. For an England point of view, it's good to see Harvey Barnes back.
Yeah.
But obviously, you'd rather see it doing it against another team and not us.
Well, Man United, preferably.
Just on Phillips, I mean, we give him a bit of a pass on the penalty. Okay, fair enough. But he's not good enough for the last goal, is it? He's done exactly the same thing against Burnley with Fofana and basically held the door open for the guy and said, after you. He's done that again. I mean, a brilliant strike. Great goal, by the way. But he just walks past him there, hasn't he? I don't think that's good enough. It's a problem.
Do you know what? I've said it on this show before. But wind the clock back just to his Leeds days, yeah, before he decided to join City instead of us, because he could have come to us and he decided to join City. And within a matter of weeks at City, he was being publicly criticised by Guardiola for different things, not being fit, not doing this, not being that. For me, I'll be honest with you, if we could buy him, and people are going to be throwing stuff at the screen now, you can buy him for 25 million in the summer. Yeah, you got a hell of a player. I don't believe that, look, class is permanent and he is a class player. He's going through a bad time trying to find he hasn't played football at City at all. Forget it's minuscule. Yeah, he's played that at City. He's come to West Ham. A lot's expected of him. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he just hasn't settled in with the group or the manager or both. But he is, he was the, him and Declan Rice for England 2 years ago. They were. Everyone said Phillips Rice. There was never a doubt. And now we're saying that he can't even get in the West Ham team, which is, I don't feel sorry for him, but I do. Well, I do feel sorry for him, but I just think there's a player in there that if he was managed properly, an arm around him, a little bit more, listen, remember who you were, son. Yeah, let's get back to that. But I think he goes out with so much pressure on him. If I was managing him, I'd say, look, go out, do what you do. You know the shape, you know what you're doing. He's probably after Paqueta, probably the best passer of the ball in the team. Yeah, he can ping the ball, boom, boom, boom. So yeah, if City let him go for around 25 million, I'd buy him. Yeah, and I'd just restart his career because for me, there are a few English players, especially if we're going to be in Europe, that are as good as him in that position. But you do need to.
Did you buy him, Tony?
I think I agree in certain respects what Mick's saying. I think the problem was when the loan deal, when he first came, look at the first game, he made a mistake in that.
Mm-hmm.
And you think you're coming from City, so no doubt he must think he's got expectations on his shoulders because of where he's come from. He doesn't exactly have the greatest game when he comes on, and he now gets pressure on his back straight away. And I think he hasn't handled that. And I think Mick's right. You've got enough coaching teams there to pull him on one side and basically kind of tell him, play to your best ability. You've got it in you, but you're just not showing it. But I think the pressure is just a bit too much for him at the moment. And the fact that obviously then he comes on for the Newcastle game and then that happens to him, it's like you've just not got the rub of the green, son. And where do you go from here? But, Mick's done managing football, same as me. The one thing you say when you get a player like that, you just kind of big him up in a different way. You make him feel good, and also then you should start seeing the best out of him. But yeah, I think I'd buy him. There was, you're saying around about 25. There's talks of 40 million.
That's what he went for.
That was before he had the 3-4 games that he's had for us. So one good thing is his value is going down every time he steps on the pitch.
The shitter he plays, so he doesn't do the wrong things anymore. The shitter he plays, the cheaper. Yeah. He is a top class midfielder, and to have him in our squad at his best would improve us. And it might be. Look, we're not privy to any of this. He might not like the way that Moisey coaches, and he's not getting on with the whole way he does things. I honestly believe that at the end of the season, that not that I'm advocating he should or shouldn't go. I'm leaning more towards him staying than going. But if he goes, he will have a new manager, which I think is more likely to happen.
Yeah.
And then there's big talks about Potter again this week, wasn't there? I'm not saying
he's Bookie's favourite.
But I don't. I think I think Moyes probably had enough. I think he'll probably call it a day. So if a new manager comes in with a budget of some size and they say, look, you can have him, he would be a pick for anyone, I think. Yeah, if not, he'll end up going back to Leeds or somewhere like that. So, but he will regain his England spot, and he will be the player we were talking about before. It's a confidence thing. It's nothing else. It's not a lack of ability or fitness or anything. It's just confidence.
The incident on the coach doesn't really do him any favours. It doesn't enamour him to the fans, does it?
The coach, was that sticking his finger up or something, was it?
Yeah, I mean,
doing that.
I've seen the video, and he wasn't getting too abused, really. I mean, he was a little bit, and he was fucking useless. So, yeah, I think a little bit. Maybe it's just a bit of the pressure, and Arsenal.
Yeah, frustration and pressure, Jeff. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, a bit of pressure, but a poor reaction from him, and yeah, not a good look.
Right. How many of us sitting here tonight have not had a poor reaction to something, under pressure? You know what I mean?
Never, Mick. I'm an angel. Didn't you see that?
Yeah.
I've never done anything like that at all.
That's what I'm saying. You've got to take everything into consideration. The fella's a human being,
No, for sure, but it just doesn't. In this age where it goes around, goes viral, everyone sees that. It's not a good look, is it?
It's not a good look. I agree. But,
to get himself back on side with the fans now.
Well, he was out signing autographs the other day, so they don't all hate him.
I think it's obviously how they dealt with him afterwards. What did the management do? You've come here and you're supposed to be setting your stall out to hopefully us either look to buy you, and doing something like that. The fans will turn on a player quicker than a sixpence at the end of the day. So he should really have thought about what he was doing at that stage.
Yeah. Barry says he thinks that we get the points taken off us so we don't get near the Champions League spots. Seems to be a feeling amongst fans of
What's that mean?
Barry. I think he's referring to basically like VAR decisions and stuff like that, because we've had some poor ones, but we had a bit of luck this week, didn't we, I suppose? So, yeah.
Long overdue.
You reckon? Well, I don't. Even in Scotty Oaks?
Yeah. Makes it in the house.
Well, I would have to. What's that? I do like Phillips. I do rate him, but at the moment this line ain't doing it.
Unfortunately, we're getting on 20 million on the 7 million we paid for the loan.
Yeah.
I don't think we've paid 7 million for the loan. It's £3 million loan fee, I think.
Yeah, plus his wages.
Plus his wages, which brings it up to that kind of figure. Yeah.
Well, what we're talking about there, the VAR. We don't want to have a whole evening on VAR again, but I just have to say two things. Yeah, the Phillips penalty, right? It is illegal to tackle from behind anyway. Yeah, which is what Phillips did. So how that becomes a penalty, I don't know. And as you rightly said earlier, he wasn't seen. Yeah, and he was offside on Sunday. I mean, he was. We're not going to go for VAR. What I'm saying is, he was offside. The fella was offside. I don't know where the big, I agree. Football ever.
I agree, but we'll come to the Wolves game. We've got the Spurs game to touch on. Unless anyone got anything to add to the Newcastle game, everyone, most of the channels have done that. We're a bit late to the party because we didn't have a show last week.
Yeah, because the host couldn't be bothered.
Well, he was otherwise engaged.
Well, if he was any sort of host, he'd have done it live from the stadium, and that would have drawn people in.
I was otherwise engaged in the Carpenter's Arms, and then in the stadium.
That's called budget cuts at the Boleyn Lounge, Mick. That's what that's all about.
Yeah.
But moving on to Spurs. I mean,
before you crack on, I'll just let you know that apparently
Tony.
Bernardo Silva has just done a masterclass, and the City already up 1-0 up within 90 seconds of starting the game.
Arsenal are 1-0 up as well.
Are they?
Oh, good.
Saka scored, yeah.
Good.
Oh, I ain't going to do the end of that.
Yeah.
Now, before we change, I don't know what you like on that, Tone, but I mean, I always want to see the English teams do well. I don't care who it is, so I'm glad.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you want our English clubs to do well. It's just the fact of full well
Oh,
if
yeah.
it's your friends or you work somewhere and that, you're just going to get that verbal diarrhea for the next couple of days.
Yeah, but we're champions of Europe. None of them are at the moment.
That's very true.
You know
That's
what I mean?
very
So,
true.
you know, they just really need to remember that when they're telling you that. Yeah.
So if we move on to the Spurs game, I mean, I don't know what everyone's views on it. I was there. I had a few scuffs of beer, so I might have seen it a bit differently to everyone else. But it wasn't quite as an exciting a game as I thought it might have been, as some of the West Ham Tottenham games have been. They caught us sleeping a little bit out of the traps and got themselves an early goal. And I must admit, I was a little bit worried at that stage because you just think they can easily run away with games. And we worked our way back into it. Zuma got a goal off of his back, and I think at the end of it, probably about the right result. I mean, Antonio missed that chance right down in front. I was behind the same goal, and right down in front of us there and behind that goal, and I really thought he should have put that away. But yeah, you know, it's what it is. Antonio 1-on-1. I mean, he took his goal beautifully at Newcastle and fluffed his lines at Spurs, and that's Mickey all over, isn't it?
Yeah.
But probably on balance, about the right result and a good point for us, I thought. I don't know what you guys think. Do you want to take that up, Tony, to give us your views on the Spurs game?
Yeah, I was in the same thing as you, Jeff. As soon as they got that early goal, and Werner sitting, doing that ball in the box, we didn't deal with that in the first place. But I'm glad we got a goal back. And at that point, that's when I think the whole dynamics of the game changed, because both teams then went ultra cautious, sitting behind the ball. You know, Spurs for me had more possession of the ball, but we had a clearer cut chances, and Vicario in certain respects kept him in it. You know, the amount of saves that he pulled off, and especially like said, the Antonio one, he should have actually definitely buried that. He just thought about it too long, and he was straight into his arms.
There was a article, I think it was on my phone, that
I'll just give you the goal flash, because Real Madrid have equalised and Bayern Munich have equalised as well.
Get in there.
It's 1-1 in both those games now.
Was it Harry Kane?
No, it wasn't Harry Kane. It's I don't know who this fella is. I'll watch it back now.
Yeah, there was reading on my phone that Moyes was speaking to the referee after that Tottenham game, and he said that if Mickey had scored, he would have given a foul on Van der Ven anyway, so it wouldn't have been a goal.
Yeah, there was speculation about that.
There was no foul though. Again, let's not go deep into that, but there was no. Mickey was just stronger in that last moment. That's it.
Well, I'm just thinking about Paqueta that kind of bundled Madison just outside the edge of our 18-yard box for the ball to be played through for Antonio.
Yeah.
How we got away with that, I don't know. But yeah.
He's another player. So what's that?
Maybe the rubber of the green is coming our way, Yeah.
He's another player though that needs to stand on his feet. I'm tired. It's harder to turn himself around. He's such a good player. And he causes, and what he does, he leaves us out of shape. You know what I mean? He'll lose a tackle or whatever, roll around, look up and realise, oh, fuck, I'm not getting it. Spend another 20 seconds on the floor pretending his ankle hurts, and then we're out of shape. Yeah, he's actually starting this part of the season now. He has to stop that, because these moments will cost us. Yeah,
agree.
Unless you guys have got anything else to add on the Spurs game, I don't think we need to dwell on that too long. I mean, it wasn't a huge amount of incident.
I think if you look at it, it was a well-deserved point, like you said, Jeff. It was the case of we counteracted what they were doing, and Vicario counteracted us. Yeah, so a draw was a fair point.
It was a fair point, and you have to, again, you're talking about a side that's going to be in the Champions League regardless this year. They will finish fourth. So and they are a bit of the talk of the town, aren't they, at the moment? Handball and all that sort of thing. So to get a point against them when you're 1-0 down, happy with that.
Yeah, we just stopped them playing a little bit, didn't we? And
sometimes you have to do that, don't you?
No. The thing is, if we go at Spurs and leave them gaps, that's exactly what they want. They're terrifying on the break, right? They've got Werner, who's like lightning quick. Son, they're getting behind you. That's where they're going to hurt you. We just didn't let them do that, did we?
I think that's probably the first time that I can remember. I don't have the stats because I don't bother with all that sort of stuff. But it's the first time I can remember Son playing against us and not scoring for a long time. He always seems to score. Yeah,
He always
seems to score. So yeah, all round. Look, we have got expectations, and I honestly believe we can meet them. But yeah, you have to take when you're playing. I'm not going to call them a big club because we're a big club, but when you're playing the top teams, sometimes you have to take the point, and that's it.
The bottom line is, you said it, they're likely to finish fourth.
Mm-hmm.
If not fourth, they'll finish fifth.
Mm-hmm.
And we've took 4 points off of them this year,
Mm-hmm.
and they haven't beaten us.
That's a good point. 4 points.
So there's not too much to be not too happy about, really, overall. To pick the bones out of one game, should have done better, whatever. But really and truly, a win at their place, which we really probably mugged them, didn't we? But like record book says, we win, right?
Yeah, well, points table shows we won.
Ground out a draw at home, got our 4 points against them. Happy days, move along, and we move along to Wolves the weekend. Well, I don't know. Did you watch that game, Nick, or did you just see the highlights?
Just highlights on that one, mate. Yeah, I was out with the grandkids all day Saturday. So,
did you watch the game, Tony?
I saw up to the point where Ward-Prowse scored from the corner.
Oh, so you saw most of the game then. Well, first half, I mean, we were awful, and even Alvarez, who's been out for a couple of weeks, and you think to be fresh as a daisy, he looked like he was running through a ploughed field at times. I thought all the games were catching up on us, and I was dreading how that game was going to turn out. And second half was a different story, I'm pleased to say. The penalty, I've seen some people sort of debating, is it, ain't it? Did he get a bit of the ball, didn't he? I think it's probably a penalty, isn't it? I think Emerson's probably committed himself a little bit where he shouldn't have. I think he didn't need to go to ground quite as early as he did. But he did what he did. He made his decision. He's caught the lad. Penalty. And Sariba, whatever his name is, took that penalty. And super penalty. No one's saving them. And then second half, we get ourselves back into it. There's a few changes. We'll talk about the substitutions and one thing or another, because I was scratching my head when he changed. But not when Bowen came off, obviously, because he was clearly injured. But bringing Cresswell on made me scratch my head. But actually, he changed the formation a little bit, and it did change the game. Pushed Emerson up, and our penalty. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Kilman's got his arm outstretched, and clearly hits his hand there. I don't think there can be any debates about that.
No.
Dispatched nicely by Paquetá. I'm still not sure I like the way he takes penalties, but he tucked that right into the side net in there.
So I was his manager, he wouldn't be taking penalties. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and then Bowen's wind-assisted corner that went straight in.
Corner. He beautifully floated it into the empty space, Jeff.
He did.
Just sound like David Moyes, you do.
That's Ward-Prowse.
And the goalkeeper, bit disappointing. I'm sure he'll be disappointed with himself. Got caught underneath the flight of the ball a little bit and just ended up sitting down and watching that going over his head. But here's what it is. We'll take that. And then late equaliser for them. They kind of rallied a bit at the back end of the game there, tried to get their goal to get level, and they scored what they thought was a good goal. Bit worrying from us that Kilman gets a free header right there in injury time, 6-yard box, and he put it away well. But as we touched on before, the young lad standing in front of Fabianski, offside position, and it's disallowed. One thing I didn't touch on there, Emerson had a goal disallowed, and Digger was a little bit soft. I think it's probably about right in the end. He probably just clips the fella's heels, but I watched a couple of replays on that, and you have to look pretty close to see whatever contact there is. And as much as Wolves are moaning that their equaliser should have stood, I think if they want that to stand, then don't think they can be too disappointed if Emerson's goal stands. So Emerson gets his goal chalked off, they get their goal chalked off, and we sneak a 2-1 win and get out of there. And well, yeah, what's your views on that? I'll stop talking now and let you guys put your 2 pence in. Just put these comments up while you're at it.
Yeah, I think if you look, we were shocking in the first half, and I'm glad he made the changes. It proved that where we've been lacking on the left-hand side, that Emerson can play in that area, and Cresswell, they both linked up pretty well with each other, which was good to see as well. As for the going on to the Emerson goal, what you just said there, for me it was minimal to virtually nothing contact.
Yeah, but Barry's just referring. I didn't see Barry's comment, but he's sort of echoing what I was sort of saying in my summary there as well. So
yeah, the Emerson goal should have stood. I mean, at the end of the day, it was very minimal contact, and the fact that they had to replay it several times over, and like you said, Jeff, you had to kind of look at the screen and think to yourself, did he actually clip him? Is there any actually contact there? And it's so slight. But
don't interrupt you. Don't need another goal flash. Real Madrid are winning against City.
Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, so some good goals going in them games. But yeah, I mean, it's the fact that I know Mick said you was talking about it the week before and that, and I think if you look at it, if we did a show about VAR and that, I think we'd be in next week after.
I nearly fell asleep. I'm not going to lie. I hate talking about VAR. Like, decisions are made, so there's not much you can really do. Whether they're right or they're wrong, the game's over. So, you can say whether they're right or wrong, but ultimately that's the result. So,
well, it's like when you look at it, the fact of look at before, 5 minutes and 37 seconds to decide was it a goal or not from Souček.
Was it a clear and obvious mistake after 5 minutes and 37 seconds? Yeah, exactly. Fucking VAR pisses me off. It's ruining football.
But you could see it quite clearly. I mean, the Wolves, Kilman hitting that ball. I mean, giving the penalty away for us, you could see his hand come out and actually parry it out. So that was it. But even then, though, Mick, they still had a kind of like it was so obvious to see. But no, VAR's got to intervene again, and they've still got to look at it, and then still look at it. And it's like, well, you could see him. His hand comes out, he parries it out for the corner.
Referees need to get back to refereeing games and not computers, video lounges. So,
evening, Wazim. Thanks for joining us.
Look, as I said, I didn't see too much to do with Wolves, but I believe Johnson came on a stormer in the centre of the park.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I read. I mean, I've seen the highlights, but you can't tell from highlights,
Bit of a mixed bag on that one, I'd say myself. But I mean, Jeff might have a different view of that. Evening to Kenny.
I missed what you said. Sorry, Mick. I was looking at the comments.
So Johnson came on at half time, and according to the social media and stuff that and the papers, that Johnson had a storming game second half. Did he?
Yeah, he had a decent game. Yeah, I mean, I've also seen some stuff about Soufal had a bit of a row at half time, which is why he might have got changed. Part of the reason he might have got changed for Johnson.
Did Soufal come off? Did he?
Soufal came off.
All right, okay.
Johnson came on. He had a decent half. I have to say. Johnson's done pretty well in the appearances he's had of late. I've been quite impressed with him. And I know there's a lot of fans who have been saying, he's fantastic. And I do think some people have forgotten how bad he was not that long ago, which is why stopped playing, stopped getting selected, right? But in his defence, when he's been come on and asked to do the jobs he's been asked to do recently, he's done. I mean, he's been played left wing.
It goes back
bad.
to the conversation earlier with Phillips. Is how much confidence is being destroyed. Because personally, again, I say a lot of people may disagree, but if Johnson had a run in the side at right back, he'd be keeping Soufal out. He's quicker. He's He's equally as strong a tackler, and he puts a better ball in the box. And he's 24, not 33. Yeah. So, I don't get it, but we're not around the ground. We're not around the training ground. We don't know what moods people are in, how they react to the manager. You don't know all that sort of stuff. But, we have seen him at his best, beating people, getting crosses in, scoring the odd goal. I just think that's...
Harry Kane's just scored a penalty for Bayern, by the way.
Has he?
Really?
Yeah, they're 2-1 up.
2-1.
And just going back to the Emerson and Creswell, we were talking here, 2-3 weeks ago, and I've been advocating that Nagar should play left back in front of Emerson. I'd love to see that. I'm a big fan. Again, maybe I'm looking at it differently, but I'm a big fan of his. I just think he's got pace. He's great on the ball, but maybe not the strongest centre half in the Premier League. But great pass through the ball, loads and loads of pace, good vision. Him and Emerson down the left, there'll be a lot of pace there, a lot of strength. The only thing that worries me about Quezza, and I love Quezza, I think he's been fantastic for us since he signed for Mitch's, but he's getting... He never had a yard of pace to start with, if you know what I mean. Yeah,
he's been a brilliant servant, Cresswell. But his age is catching up with him, right? We're trying to evolve and go where we're trying to go. He's not the future, is he? So I've got nothing against Cresswell, but I just think his time's done. His time's coming to an end. And
he could probably come on and do half hour, 40 minutes in any game. Sure. And once you get in, but it's just so tough playing at this level.
I'm a big fan, as you know, I'm a big fan of Ollie Scholes, and I just think that we should be looking to bring that young lad into the fold. We should be looking to ship Cresswell out. Let him go to Wolves or wherever it is he's going to go for a couple of £1 million. Finish off his career wherever he's going to finish it off. It's fine. I've got nothing against it. I'll say thank you very much, Aaron. You've been brilliant for us. Pat on the back. His time served at West Ham. He knows what the club's about. I'm not slagging him off, but I just rather see
you've got to do that,
come through.
Yeah, but this is the problem. I mean, Mick's kind of alluded on it. It's the fact of you don't know what the coaching staff are doing, because I like the Agurt situation. There's something that's not going on right there. I just want to couple, because I was fun enough. Canio's just taking the words out. I was thinking exactly the same thing here. A player's always going to play well when they know their contract's up for grabs. They're going to suddenly show a bit of burst of form, because if it's not going to be West Ham, they're hoping to sell themselves elsewhere.
Yeah. I don't think he'd have a problem selling himself elsewhere. That's the point. I don't really, I just think he's too good a player to lose out of our squad. Yeah, but I do agree with what Di Canio is saying. There's a lot to be said that if you look at Marcus Rashford scoring 30 goals last season, couldn't hit a barn door this year, and doesn't look interested to either. So
it's one of those, I think, isn't it? You're on $350 a week.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares?
Mm-hmm. I'm on $350 a week, but that's it. $350.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the difference. That's the difference.
Jeff, can I just? I know Jack and a few of them are on tonight. We, I took over the Sheffield Saints Greens under 10s there about 3 months ago. We haven't won a game since I took over. But it's been a struggle to get everyone to do what they want. But on Sunday, we won 6-2 our first game. So a big up to the boys that are listening. I know a couple are listening. So a big up to them boys. Well done.
Well done, boys. And
well done, Mick, getting it turned around.
Finish off the season strong, lads.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything to add on the Wolves game? Shall we move along? We've got a big game coming up in the week.
Now, who's that against?
Some little team from Germany, I think.
Oh yeah, it's a big game for them. Sorry, I thought you meant that we had a big game. Yeah.
But in all fairness, actually, I do think for both sides, ourselves and Leverkusen, in Europe at least, this is the biggest test either of us have had, respectively. We came through our group pretty comfortably. We lost out in Germany to Freiburg, but I mean we absolutely put them to the sword at the London Stadium, and we beat them twice in the group as well. And Leverkusen, they absolutely breezed through their group. I think they got maximum points in their group, and then they happened to play, as we did, a team that they'd faced in their group. They sort of snuck by them with a couple of late goals in the end, but they haven't really played anyone of note, as we haven't. Perhaps the only team that we played that's got any kind of pedigree was Olympiacos, and they're not perhaps what they once were. So it's a big test for both sides, I think. But for us, I mean, no Alvarez out there. Really big miss. We know that he's a big player for us. And I think in this game, really big miss. And then obviously, no Bowen after getting injured against Wolves, which we didn't touch on though. But
they've lost their centre forward though for both the games, haven't they?
Yeah. Who've they lost?
They've lost their centre forward for both their games.
Which centre forward?
What's his name?
Not Boniface.
Boniface is injured anyway. He might not even make it.
No, he's back. He played for them. He came on as sub in their last couple.
Yeah, but he's not fully fit. And it's the other fella. Is it Kill? Not Kill.
Oh, is it?
Who?
Oh, no, I've got it. Oh, hang on, I've got to look it up. I've got it here. Not that Grimaldo.
He's played for them all season. He's a big. I was reading it tonight. He's fully. He's going to be a massive miss. What is his bloody name? I was only reading it before I came on there. I can't remember his name now. But anyway, they've got players out. They've got players out, and that lad you said earlier, he's not fully fit. He only came on for a short while, didn't he? Yeah, he's also carrying an injury, so it might work out anyway.
I know their goalkeeper's out.
What's his name?
I'm just Googling it now.
We're full of research in this show, aren't we?
Yeah. Palacios has pulled his hamstring.
Yeah, well, he's got it's only a hip injury. I reckon he's back in mid-April. Hoffman, another one, a hip injury.
Yeah, Boniface is saying that he's injured.
That's the guy.
I actually thought they were in quite good shape, which is why I didn't do much research. I knew their goalkeeper was out, and other than that, I thought they were in good shape.
Well, the current one's just saying here at the moment, you've got Adam Holzek, muscle injury, Nathan Teller, and Arthur Augusto, if it's all true.
That must be who Mick's talking about, that Gusto fella. DiCanio says he hopes Moyes is playing tricks with misinformation on Bowen. I hope so too, DiCanio, but I'm not sure. Seems like he might be out for up to 3 weeks, and he might miss both legs, which really would be quite a big miss for us.
A big miss at home. I don't think away, but I think at home he'd be a big miss.
So Wazim, obviously, he says there's no Alvarez, which obviously he's suspended. No Areola. Well, I think Fabianski would probably play anyway, but Areola is a miss for us, no doubt. And no Bowen. He fears the worst, but he's still optimistic. I have to say, I was quite optimistic about this game, and when we were 3-1 up at Newcastle, I was really quite looking forward to the prospect of this game. And then we spoke about it a little while ago. We capitulated there. I don't think the Spurs result was dreadful, but I thought we were pretty poor, especially first 45 against Wolves. And the closer this game comes now, the more nervous I'm getting about it. I don't know if that's just a bit of pre-match tension or if there's something to be nervous about. What do you think, Tony? How are you feeling leading up to this game?
When you know that Leverkusen haven't really lost all season, it is. You think yourself, of all the teams we've drawn in this draw.
Sorry, Ticanio saying it's shit.
Oh shit!
Is he injured?
Didn't mention anything on the thing of this.
I thought he was. He is dangerous though, so if he's missing, that will be a boost for us for sure. And evening, Happy. Glad you joined us.
Good to see you.
Yeah, go on, Tony. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, no. Say, this is going to be a great test for us to see where we are in this competition. And you're playing the Bayern, the Dortmund Bundesliga champions in Leverkusen. It's going to be a good test for us, and as you said, it will be for them as well. See what level they are playing against the Premier League team. But I think at the same point, as if Moyes sets his stall out correctly, then we've definitely got a good chance of getting something out of that. The away leg as well. I'll take it all day long.
Would it be a stroke of genius for Moyes if he turned around to Phillips on Thursday morning and said, "Right, you're in"? Yeah, because he needs something, and if you want to keep a clean sheet, you're going to need someone like him at his best, because no one covers Alvarez in that team.
No, that's true.
But Phillips could on his day cover him, and be just as good as him. But
just give me information. Don't go in the 18-yard box. For fuck's sake. Just stay outside of that.
Chicken Ward Prowse worry me, I must admit. If he puts them two up,
that won't be enough to keep them out.
No.
Second Ward Prowse will not be enough to keep that side out.
No, I agree. It worries me. I mean, Tony was kind enough to invite me on his show Sunday evening, and we spoke briefly on this. And I said, if you offer me a 1-0 loss now, I'll just say don't bother getting on the plane, and we'll take it. See you next Thursday. Right? Yeah. You might feel differently about that, Nick. I don't know, but I am worried.
It's Tony's touched on it about 2 minutes ago. It's about getting the tactics right. It's about getting the tactics right, mate. That's it.
Triple park the bus, Mick. That's what DiCanio's saying.
Yeah, it might take that. It might take that, but it's got to be. There's no use parking the bus with Soucek and people like that, because they can't park the bus.
No.
You need a Phillips. If you haven't got Alvarez, you're going to need someone. Phillips is the only player.
Just go grab a drink, mate.
In that first team squad that can sit in there and do that job. And I know everyone's hating on Phillips right now, but it might be a stroke of genius. Say, come on in. Show us what you can do, because there isn't anyone else. Not to do it properly, not for 90 minutes.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
But I don't know if Phillips is ready for that either. But we'll see.
Well, maybe this could be a game for him to step up.
This is what I'm saying. This could be the moment that he changes. Give him the opportunity. So go on then. Yeah. Go on then. Yeah, you're an England player. Go on, son. Let me see it.
This is your chance. Mm-hmm. I'm just looking at that comment from Happy Emirate where she said the mascot kid in front of Jorginho just now doing the crossed hammers on TV. Get in here, boy. That's what we want to see.
Happy saying here, Moyes boy is actually most needed for this first leg. We are going to get royally screwed. Yeah, we do. We need. The one thing about Moyes in Europe is he sets us up quite well in Europe, and it seems to work, and we get results. So let's hope we can just continue that trend and get something. If we can get something out of the game out there, it'd be fantastic. But
If you
I
take,
take
sorry,
one
Jeff.
down.
Sorry,
Sorry,
Jeff.
mate. Go on.
Well, if you take Dortmund and Bayern Munich out of the German league, yeah, how many? How many? It's just me who wants Arsenal. Yes. Well, I have to go with the English teams there, Barry. Sorry.
Happy about it.
That's for your show tomorrow, Tony.
Yes.
There'll be some comments there when you get on tomorrow, anyway.
There will be. I've already seen some already, funny enough.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, apart from Dortmund and Bayern Munich, how many teams do they face? That are of a high quality in Germany? Not too many. And how many Paquetas, how many Antonios, how many Kudoses do they face week in, week out? Because that's still formidable forward line, even in a quarterfinal of a European competition. Yeah. So, the negativity is around who plays in Alvarez's place for me. After that, yeah, whoever that may be, the chances of Phillips playing are probably 1%.
Slim.
Whoever goes in there has got to do the job. That's where we'll win and lose it tomorrow. It'll be that person in front of the back four that's screening and moving and getting people in.
This is why Alvarez is such a big miss for us.
It's what we bought Phillips for, though. We bought Phillips
it is.
For these type of games, and regardless of what's happened, yeah, class is permanent. I'm not the manager, but it's me, I'll be saying we haven't got anyone else in my own head, not to him, and say, right, go on.
As we know,
Barry makes a good point here.
He says, different from the others.
Can Zuma's knees take it, though? He's played a lot lately, and it's true, he has. Although, surprisingly, I don't think he's looked quite as awkward in the last couple of games as he has previously. I don't know if that's just me.
Well, I think the person that tied his bootlaces together undone them.
So hopefully he can, Barry. That's all I'm going to say on that. Hopefully his knees can take it. And Di Canio saying Phillips can't be trusted to be the water boy. So
I was expecting at least some sort of comment or two about that. But
to be fair, I mean, it's a fair observation on his display so far.
Yeah.
But as you say, if he plays, this is his chance. He has to step up. Otherwise, he really will be public enemy number one.
Jurgen Klopp can turn around to an 18-year-old kid who's going to play in front of 50,000 kids and people and never done it before and say, "This is your time, lad. Come on." Alexander's injured. Yeah, put his arm around him. Say, "Come on, 18. Come on. Yeah, you can do it, son." Yeah, we're talking about an experienced English international here. I should be able to slot in there and do the job.
Type on Zoom.
Yeah, similar things about similar to your Lacey's comment, I think.
I feel we're going to get spanked. There was so much.
Yeah, we can't go for it. We can't go for it on Thursday for sure. But we need to be organised. I don't think that they won't have played many teams as good as West Ham this season, even in the Bundesliga. Yes, Dortmund.
No, I agree.
Munich,
good test for them.
It'll be a good test for them. Man. I'm not writing us off as long as we don't go gung ho. Yeah, play ourselves into the game, quieten the crowd down, all the things that people say you have to do to get, when you're away from home in the big ground. They do that, and we've done it now. It's our third season in Europe, so we know about it.
Some people like it spanked. We don't, Barry. Brilliant. No, Europe to stand a bit of a chance.
Yeah, that is the thing. We do need the English teams to do well in Europe so that if we don't hold on to our 7th spot, which Chelsea worry me, I have to say, they're sneaking up now, and they could.
It's in our own hand. So we do what we have to do and win our games. We'll come sixth. Man United, luck will run out very shortly. They'll be lucky.
Well, they've got some hard teams to play, haven't they, Mick? So
we've got some hard teams to play.
They got to face us though, Jeff. That's the difference. You know what I mean?
That's true. We can't.
But it's you got to look at Man United with who they got to face. It could make a big difference. Evening, Budgie.
Evening,
I hope
Budgie.
you will.
Hi, Budgie. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm quietly confident, but I am quietly confident on Thursday.
On Thursday or for our European qualification.
Well, I honestly, I said it earlier. I know it was on the air, off the air when we were talking, when we were just getting set up. I think we get through this. We're in the final. I do. I think we'll beat the Italian teams, either one. Yeah, Italian football is gone back to the way it was in the 80s, where everyone just is very, very cautious and very slow. So it's not an exciting league anymore. It's a very it's a very pedestrian league. I think the games that I've seen, unless I haven't seen enough of it, but I've watched the odds 20 minutes here and there, thinking it's boring the arse off me. This, yeah. So I think we can. I think we can do well.
I must admit, I'm in Happy's camp here, and I think
that?
we probably all are to some degree. She says we need to be on point with our defensive duties and praying for no more than a 1-0 loss. And that is an awful feeling. But I get it. I mean, as I said, I'd take a 1-0 and not travel. I hope we can do better. But I don't think 1-0 would be the worst result.
If Alvarez was playing tomorrow, what would you say?
Sorry, say that again, mate.
If Alvarez was playing tomorrow, would you feel the same?
I feel we had a better chance of.
No, I'm saying you need praying no more than 1-0 loss.
I'd take 1-0 even if Alvarez. I'd take 1-0 out there.
No, what I'm saying, if he was playing tomorrow, would you still feel that way?
Yeah.
Ultimately, if I know Bowen's not playing, but that's getting into silly things now. But you know, if our best team was out there, which is not tomorrow, but forget Bowen's not playing, but if Alvarez was, to me, that's the key to that game tomorrow.
I agree, but I just
defensive duties. Who's going to do that in the midfield enough times in the game, not getting caught out? That's the only bit I see that has to worry us.
I don't think 1-0. I don't think 1-0 is the worst result, even if our best team. Well, I don't want West Ham to lose any game. I certainly don't want us to lose 1-0. But
it's very
if we were to lose 1-0, I don't think it's the end of the world.
No, it's not the end of the world because it's only half time. But
yeah,
ultimately, it's all a little bit negative for a quarter final of a major European trophy. Let's not forget that as well. It's not the Europa League, which is a major European trophy. What I'm saying is you're going up another grade here. Yeah. And I don't think that people say you're talking shit. They've won 43 games or something this season, but yeah, they have not come against a team that plays the way that we do. No, they've not come against the Mickey Antonio. I'd like to see when a few balls are getting pumped up there, or they can take the hustle and the bustle and the pushing and the shoving and getting shut down right to the byline, getting shut right down to the corner flag. Yeah, with him all over your back, disrupting you.
If he does that. Don't do it every game. We don't play like that every game.
No, but he does. He doesn't stop. Yeah, he doesn't stop. Kudos doesn't stop. I mean, there's, and they've got quality as well.
Barry's asking here why.
I'm not in the camp of taking a 1-0 win, a 1-0 defeat. To be honest, I think we could get battered 5-0 tomorrow because that's West Ham. But I just think if we sort it out in the middle of the park there, just in front of defence, we can take the game to them. Yeah, bit by bit. Barry's
asking why Budgie's not on live. Budgie, you've got the link, mate. So if you want to jump on, you're welcome. And if it's a bit late or whatever, no problem. We'll catch up another time. But if you want to join us, you're more than welcome. Jump in, mate.
He's saying he's been in bed all day. So
Yeah.
probably best not. I'm just looking. I've just gone to because I've got the show tomorrow night. I've just seen Happy Emirates comments. I like the last one. Oh bollocks! Just realised this is tomorrow's vid. Pissed myself laughing. That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's a worry, Happy. But how long Bowen might be out for? Hopefully, not as long. But it is a worry.
There's a Luton fans going in there about the hardest game has come on the 11th of May. Did you see that?
Yeah, did see that.
And Happy saying that should be more confidence for just to actually get a 1-0 loss at Bell West.
Why don't you change that to miserable Hammerette? Hello, H. Hope you are well. Who's H? Oh, Happy Hammerette. Yeah.
So Ticanio saying Paqueta and Souček with JWP in front, Paqueta can get stuck in and won't hide from the ball. That's very true. And I think I probably prefer JWP in that front pivot, whatever you want to call it, role, like a number 10, rather than alongside Souček in a defensive role.
It's when Bayern are trying to break the line. It's having that person there that's quick enough and he's able to see it before it happens. And James Ward-Prowse isn't that person. And neither Souček and neither Paqueta.
No, but if Paqueta picks the ball and wins the ball there, he's likely to get his head up and pick a pass instead of going backwards or sideways, which is what's going to happen otherwise.
Paqueta's top draw, but we're talking about having to do hard yards in front of the back four, and none of the three of them will do that consistently for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Carry on, Mick. Yeah. I'm just scrolling through the comments. So
I'm just saying that. Get well. Get well, Budgie. Yeah, get well, Budgie, mate.
Great minds.
Anyway, we'll all see Thursday night. What's going to happen?
We will see Thursday night.
We can all talk bollocks on here for the next hour, but it'll all come to conclusion come Thursday night.
So here's a question. Be interested to see what everyone thinks on this. Is it possible we could actually see the lesser spotted Cornet this week?
Not unless you're going shopping in Stratford.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I just don't think he trusts him at all. I don't know if it's down to his injury or going off to France.
Who is Cornet? I mean, let's be fair. Who is he? He's not part of the West Ham setup, is he? He hasn't been since he come in almost 6-7 games.
He's on the bench every week, but he's never getting on the pitch, is he?
You know,
never.
He's not even worth a mention, is he? No disrespect to the Happy Hammerette, but he's not worth a mention. He doesn't.
To be honest, I think
he's not in the squad. For me, he's just there.
He is just there, but
it's given the opportunity, though, isn't it? That's the thing. He's not been getting.
Oh yeah, but we're talking about a quarter final of the European Trophy. We're going to bring a guy in that's sat on his arse for best part of 2 years. So that's even worse than starting Ings.
You should have brought him on at Newcastle, I think.
Huh?
I think he should have brought him on at Newcastle.
Yeah, but he's done with it West Ham. He's I
get it. He's done. I get it. Well, what I'm saying is,
Ings, he's done.
If he takes Antonio off and brings Cornet on at Newcastle, Cornet's got a bit of pace. Sar's hanging on to his hamstring, right? Yeah, they got no more subs left.
I hear you, but again,
he could have stretched him. But he didn't even bring him on there. If he's not getting on there in that situation,
what I'm saying,
he's just not getting on, is he?
He's there picking up his wages for whatever reasons that we can't let him go, we can't sell him.
You could say the same thing about Mbamba. I mean, the kids, he was on fire during the pre-season and that, but then all of a sudden, he just sits there warming the bench up, doesn't do nothing else. And like you said earlier, though, Mick, it's a case of Klopp's not afraid to turn and say, "Here, there's your 18-year-old kid, in you go.
Mm-hmm.
Go and see what you can do." We're not even giving our youngsters a chance.
No, we spoke about this. Was it last week or the week? No, week before, wasn't it? I said, like, with all this financial fair play and all this stuff going on, I've actually had a conversation with a couple of lads today, actually, at work. And I said, the easy way around financial fair play is to actually get the coaches that are coaching these young kids and bring them into the team. And you don't have to spend 50 million or 60 million on Lars Paqueta, because there's got to be one in the academy somewhere that can play in midfield. There's got to be a right back in the academy somewhere. There's got to be a left back in the academy somewhere.
You can't say we just turn our academy off overnight. You know what we used to produce.
Well, it's a joke to call. What they call us? What they call us? The academy, don't
academy
they?
of football.
The academy of football. Yeah.
The academy, my arse, more like a fish and chip shop at the moment. Yeah, but don't turn out anybody. Well,
here's the thing, right?
Huh?
Ollie Skiles played a year, 18 months ago. He had a game or two, right? I thought he was 17, I think, at the time. He was 19 now, so it might even be 2 years ago, right? I watched him and I thought, oh, he's a young prospect here. This lad, right? He's not been barely. I think he's got on the bench once or twice since, right? And he's getting no game time. He's tearing it up in the under-21s, right? Playing, like, doing really well. And I just don't get it. I said earlier about Skiles. I mean, I was a real big fan of him. And he's a couple of years further on now, further more developed. He's just not getting a look in. It's a big problem, that is.
This is a problem with Moisey. He's a bit like...
big problem.
He's like Sam Allardyce when he sold Potts, Burke, and who's the other lad, the central midfield player. He said they'll never be good enough, and he played a back three against Manchester City in a cup game, and he brought all the kids in a back three which I've never played before. I think City beat us 7-6-7-1, and he got rid of them straight after that. Potts is in the Premier League with Luton. Burke's in the Premier League with Luton. He said they'll never be good. They'll never make it as footballers because they don't.
Potts isn't at Luton anymore, is he? They let him go.
Who?
Potts ain't there no more, is he?
Is he not there?
At Luton. No, I think they let him go at the start of this season.
I don't
but
think
Burke is.
I think he's injured, Jeff. I don't think you let him go.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
I
he's still
someone
there.
said
Scotty Oates will tell us in a second if he's still online.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, Scotty Oates will tell us.
Yeah. So, but that's just the attitude of they're not good enough. You know, they've all gone on to have careers. So yeah, you can't have 7 or 8 kids in the team, and they're not kids. People call these 21, 22-year-old kids. Yeah, that's just a nonsense situation as well. They're not kids. They're grown men. Yeah, if they're 17, 18, yeah. But once they've got 19, 20, 21, they're not kids anymore. Yeah.
So DiCanio's just agreeing with you, just bringing, going back to this comment here. For what you were saying, basically on Thursday, with Paquetá, Kudus, Antonio, and I think he's underlying that himself here, saying, let's remember, it's not Arsenal Invincibles we're playing on Thursday, and we've got the quality to hurt them. So I think he kind of agrees with your sentiments there, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
And Barry saying he's sorry to say he would like to see Antonio, Kudus, Cornet and Paquetá as a front four attack as Bowen is missing. And we've sort of touched on it. I don't think Cornet is going to...
But what I'm saying is, like Cornet, I've not got anything against him, but I was saying that even the mention, he's not going to get anywhere near these next 2 games with Bayer Leverkusen.
No, he's not.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Barry's saying he would like to sort of see.
Yeah, I'm not saying not put him on the pitch. I'm not running him down. But I'm saying he's a non-entity in David Moyes' eyes.
He is, yeah. Mbama as well. So Mbama's not getting any. I mean, he wants to leave now. And I
don't know how much.
Saying,
I've not. I know you said he was on fire pre-season. I can't comment on that because I didn't see. But the few bits I've seen of him from the end of last season and this season, he doesn't actually float my boat for me. I don't think he's way off of the mark, but he's not getting enough game time to improve it though.
And that's the problem.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't get 20 minutes at the end of the game, as you said, against Newcastle, or bring him on for So
this is where Moyes fails, isn't it? Because if we want to get anything out of these youngsters, if we actually want to find out if they really are good enough,
You see, there you go. Look,
they need these opportunities, don't they?
Barry Clark, play players in the right places. What I just said
Yeah.
earlier, no square pegs in round holes. That's why, for me, Phillips should play tomorrow.
Yeah.
And well, Barry, we're just sort of talking about that, and obviously Barry's of the same mindset that they're just not getting the chances.
So
And I do think it hasn't always been. We've talked about some of the youngsters. Refer to Dean Garner. We've spoken about before. Everyone was falling over themselves. We've done well to get 12 million odd quid for him, right? He's done absolutely nothing, right? And Gakia went off to Watford. I don't even. Is he still playing football? I don't even know. He's doing nothing.
He's working with DPS.
Ashby went off to Newcastle, and I think they've loaned him out to Oxford and one thing. So we always get excited about some of the young prospects, and some of them I think actually haven't been good enough. But that's not to say none of them ever are. And I do think we're getting to a stage with this crop that we've got where, like I said, I'm a big fan of Scholes, and it does my absolute bean in how he can't get near. He should be in and around that first team much more.
There is a pathway.
Just not.
There is a pathway for him to the first team. Yeah, because we don't have two left backs. Not really. We touched on Kreza earlier. Love Kreza. He's got 20 minutes, half hour. I don't think he's got like 2 90-minute games over 3 days in him. Yeah, so there's a pathway into there for him, and he's not been shown it. So, yeah, well, again, under 23 football's a massive problem with professional football right now, not having reserve sides.
Yeah, we've spoke about that as well, saying the combination league, young players blooding themselves against professionals. Imagine young centre halves coming back from an injury, playing 2 or 3 games in the reserves to get up his match fitness. I mean, that's a real test for them, isn't it? Rather than the next kid that's playing for whatever team coming out. They learn so much, and it prepares them so much for senior football. And they're missing out on that.
Someone like Tarkowski coming back from injury at Everton, saying playing against a young centre forward. Yeah. After half an hour, he'll be thinking, I've got to do a lot better. Yeah. A lot better. So
game the under 21s lost tonight. But, can't.
How's the football going on European night? Because I'm about to shoot, boys.
Still 2-1, 2-1. Yeah, still 2-1, 2-1.
Just turned off. Yeah. So
Fun fact, Potts lives on my road. Where's he playing though?
Well, you got Freddie Potts playing for Wycombe Wanderers, and apparently ripping up trees there. He's doing really well.
Right.
Yeah, he's doing well at
Wycombe Wanderers.
At Wycombe, they say he might win Player of the Season there. I heard.
Yeah, he's a shining light there.
Yeah, and Flynn Downs is doing his bits at Southampton. He's doing well there for him. So
championship there, boys.
But it's experience, though, Mick. Whatever way you look at it, it's your experience.
He's 25. He's 25, Flynn Downs.
Yeah, but then so was Ian Wright, and so was Les Ferdinand. Look how they turned out. So you never know. You never know.
No, that's true.
But the problem is, I think, like even Kelson, it depends on our coaching staff how much they actually push these players to. When you look at the old days, we knew what we produced. Mm-hmm. They went on to play for England. We sold them for millions of pounds. Mm-hmm. You can't say exactly the same for the stock we're producing at the moment.
No.
But that's not just us, is it? There's quite a few clubs that do that as well.
But there's also the fact is that these kids get too much too soon. Who was the right back that went to Newcastle? What's his name? Ashby. So this is kind of from the horse's mouth, someone that knows the people well, yeah? He told me he was on £1,000 a week at West Ham. And West Ham offered him 5, I think the fella told me. Yeah, and Newcastle offered him 20. He was out the door like a shot. Yeah, and then they bought. I think they bought Kieran Trippier after they bought him. Actually, yeah. So that was him done before he even started. So but he's looking at 20 grand a week. Thing is 80 quid a month, nearly £1 million a year. Happy days. Yeah, I'm a millionaire by this time next year, which he probably is. But he's not playing football anymore. He's at Oxford. Somewhere he said, Jeff, weren't you? And they want too much too soon. I mean, the Chelsea going back quite a number of years. Chelsea played Norwich in the FA Cup U final, and they played at Norwich, I think it was, first off, and Norwich beat them 1-0. And then they played at Stamford Bridge, and Norwich beat them 4-1. And 8 of the players that were playing for Chelsea at the age of 18 or under were all millionaires. Yeah. So where's the incentive?
Exactly. This is the thing. I mean, Everton had the same thing, didn't they? I don't know if it was Ross Barkley or whatever. They, signed a contract. They offered him money. He turned it down. He wanted £19,000 a week at the time. That's going to go back to that 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's he's on about £9 a week at Luton now. So good luck to him. I'm playing out of his skin.
Is that bonuses as well?
Yeah, bonuses as well. Yeah, well, they get a burger, I think. I think you have to cash in your luncheon vouchers, I think.
But this is the thing. I remember the under-15s when I was there at West Ham and we played Spurs, and of course all the talk was about this kid for Spurs. He was already rated, an under-15s rated at £1 million then. But 2 years later, he went back to Jamaica.
Yeah.
Because the family wanted to move back, and that was the end of him. Well, say that was the end of him. He did come back back in England, and he played for Man United. And that was Quinton Fortune.
Quinton Fortune, yeah. Again, he didn't have a long career at United, did he? A couple of years?
No. But he made his cut. He did what he did out in Europe. Got to Man United, made his money.
Yeah. Fair play to him. Don't get me wrong. Right, gents, I'm going to love you and leave you at this stage. Yeah?
Okay, mate. No worries, mate.
All right, lovely to see you both. Yeah.
And
we'll see you next week. I'll speak to you in a week.
We will talk through next Tuesday how we managed to beat Bayer Leverkusen that style. All right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you'll all tell me how well Calvin Phillips played after the most master stroke by Mr. Moyes.
Or not.
Probably not. All right. Take care, boys. All the best.
And you as well. Take care.
Nice
seeing you.
Bye-bye.
So Ian says here, Tony, a 1-0 loss would be a terrific result, and he says he's being negative. But I have to say,
I think most of us would take that, Jeff.
I think most of us would take it. Yeah. And Happy absolutely hates square pegs in round holes. I said last season we need to blood Mabama into the team by playing in the lower competition games, and never did get more than 15 to prove anything while Antonio was out injured. Yeah,
totally agree on that.
Like we've been talking about it, but I think everyone agrees. Like we're never going to find anything out about these youngsters if they don't get some minutes, and they'll either succeed or they'll fail, but at least we'll know.
Yeah,
or they'll show their potential. At least if they get given these opportunities, they don't set the world on fire. Then they'll be able to have a look at themselves and know that what they need to do better to actually make the grade, rather than believing they're good enough and not perhaps being there.
Totally agree. Decent 11 and Johnson.
And Happy Amaret says the trouble is we have a decent 11 and Johnson. As soon as one of those pivots are out, we are a mess. No shape, no worthy match, sharp bench. Should have learned 2 seasons ago, but keep flogging.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it?
Absolutely right. I did a little slide. I don't know if I'll have time to put it up, but I did a little slide about subs and our bench from their last 3 games. And
weak.
Basically, and it's not only that it's weak, Tony. It's who's going to get on. We were talking about Cornet. Cornet's on the bench every week. He's not getting on, right? Danny Ings is lucky if he gets on for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got Johnson, basically, who is prepared to use. Cresswell that he'll bring on at a push if he has to.
Yep.
And other than that, he doesn't want to use anyone, right?
Yeah, I get what you're saying there, Happy America.
I mean,
you're not going to get an opportunity, are you?
That's it. I mean, if you've got a youngster who's vying to be a professional footballer and a top level professional footballer, if you're a West Ham fan, you'd love them to be at your club and for them to play at your club. your son to be the next star for West Ham. But they're not going to get a chance. You'd rather see them go somewhere else where they're going to get an opportunity, wouldn't you?
Definitely.
So, DiCanio says these youth players also have themselves to blame too. Happy to take the easy, good money in under 21 rather than taking a risk and go and play senior football. And yeah, I mean, as Mick was saying before he left there, it's the world we live in, but it is all a little bit too much too soon, isn't it? They want, they want sort of first team wages, if you like, without actually proving that they're first team players. But I don't know what the answer is, because clubs are prepared to pay them, aren't they? You know, we're talking about Ashby. He's gone off to Newcastle for the money. Actually, he's not getting any football, not at any kind of level. But he is picking up the wage packet, right?
Yeah, that's the difference, isn't it? I mean, that's the problem you've got now. Same year, he's got 10 kids, and 6 of them are West Ham. I wouldn't send mine there either.
Yeah.
Big question.
Here we are. It's a good question, yeah.
Mm.
Will a new head coach use any of the youth next season? Are they actually good enough? We can't afford to replace all the first team, and bench needed. Should never have got this bad, to be honest. Well, there's all kinds of questions in there, but they're all good points. Will a new head coach use any of the youth? I guess it depends who the new head coach is, right?
Who you bring in?
So hard to answer that one. And are they actually good enough? Hard to answer that one. But I do think that they look like they've got prospects. And unless they start getting some first team football and going up against the top players in the top league, we're just not going to know until it happens.
But then you've got to look at it. Let's look at it from a different perspective. You look at Man United when Fergie brought in all the youngsters, you know, Giggs and Scholes and all them lot. What have Man United actually produced since then? And that, you know, so that we're not just in the same kind of. You know, we used to produce players, but Man United are exactly the same. Once that lot finished and moved on, apart from like Mainu, you can't, you know, Rashford. There's not many others you can say that English players that we've actually, you know, Man United's produced. So we're not alone in that respects.
No, I agree with you, Tony. And the thing is, cast our mind back to Freddie Sears.
Freddie.
Who was going to be the next big thing, right? And by the way, young Freddie's gone off and he's made a career for himself in football, and he's done all right, but he's not at the top level. And we've had a few of those. And we all thought this is going to be the next big thing, and they haven't quite cut it at the top level. What I will say, I haven't seen lots of these youngsters, but you hear about them, you see the prospects, they get talked up a lot, not just by fans, by the way, by their coaches, that actually they have got what it takes to be the next level footballers. So hopefully some of this crop can actually buck that trend and make it in a West Ham shirt. But they've got to get the opportunities, haven't they? They've got to be given some opportunities.
This is the thing. But as you said, if they're bigged up too much, then they believe the hype, and then before you know it, they're gone.
Yeah. And Ian saying he agrees about Moyes in Europe. He's not a fan, but his safety first tactics do seem to work for 2 European ties, and he'll be happy to low block this leg out. And I think we're kind of all that we spoke about it earlier in the show and said, you know, when it comes to Europe, actually he's got a good record. It seems to work. So let's hope it can work at least one more time.
Yeah, that's true.
But we talk about, you know, we've always got the next big thing, but very few of them turn out to be the next big thing. We've had some products from our youth academy, but not many that have made sparkling careers at West Ham.
No. And then there were two.
So happy saying, if Ben Johnson walks in the summer, then we are total plonkers. What a versatile, homegrown English young player with Prem experience are we going to get in for free that only wants 50k a week? And yeah, again, we sort of spoke about that earlier in the show as well. I mean, the thing is, you got Sufal who's on like 35k a week. So if he was to get paid 50 or 60k a week and sign his contract, it might put Sufal's nose out a little bit. And I guess you could understand that to a degree. But as Mick said, he's like 24, right? And he's got his whole career in front of him. Sufal's coming to the end of his career. I mean, I don't want to be blasé about money. I know we've got FFP and we have to watch like the wage cap and one thing or another. But I would say give Johnson his 50k a week, sign him up, and give Sufal another. If they're going to give him an extension, give him an extension and give him the extra 15k a week, right? Keep him happy.
Yeah. But competition is healthy, though, Jeff.
Backup.
Hey, competition is healthy. You want, that's what you want. Get them to push each other at the end of the day. It's ludicrous, yeah.
And it's ludicrous, and it is. It'd be a really poor decision, I think, to let him go. I mean, he's so versatile. He's pretty much played everywhere he's been asked over the last couple of months or so, and done a pretty decent job in every role he's been asked to do.
Yeah.
In not natural positions. So fair play to him.
That's where
Swear away if you want to, Happy.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, George Moncur was a good player.
Who was the lad who got injured? Welsh boy. God, his name escapes me now. What a fine player he was.
Yeah, I know. You got me going. Oh, bloody hell, what's his name? Blonde-headed kid, wasn't it?
Yeah, the chat, help us out in the chat. Someone will
Bennett.
just put it in there like that. Oh, God, my mind's gone blank. He was a fine player, got injured.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I could see him as well, but I can't think of his name.
Surely knows that only the top teams have league-ready youth. That's why our academy is a joke these days. Yeah, Liverpool is a great example of that. But Klopp's not afraid of playing.
He's not afraid to play him. And I think also probably the only manager who doesn't get forced into playing the youth, though, because although they've got great youngsters, Liverpool, they have suffered some injuries and he's kind of had to throw them in. To a degree,
there is that.
Although he is fearless about it, and they have shone. But I'd say Pep is the only one who's not scared to play his youngsters and integrates them. But he does it slowly.
Well, you say about the Liverpool one. When you look at that, I mean, the fact that they had qualified and Arsenal had qualified in the Champions League, the difference being was that Klopp actually put out, I think it was about 6 or 7 youth players. Arteta wouldn't even do that with one. So there's a difference, and they've got. I wouldn't say they've got some great players, but there's your difference. When you're qualified, especially, that's the opportunity to see what they can actually do. Barcelona player 16. So does Real Madrid and with Hendricks. He's 17. It's all about the managers playing them, supporting them, giving them. Yeah, absolutely, Barry. Yeah, that's the only way we're going to get our players to progress.
It is, but they do have to have the quality as well. I mean, we can't just throw them in.
You do, but at the same
There's
point,
a balance to be found.
It's how you got to think. You try and, as a manager, as a club, you try and get the whole teams playing the same way. So anyone transcends up to reserves into the first team, they all play the same way. But when you look at that, we don't give certain managers don't put that arm around the shoulder and say, "Oh, I can get the best out of you. I want you to do this. I want there's a future for you." It doesn't engage them. And, as we said earlier on, they're quite happy to take the money, but it's just that little extra push to get the best out of them. And that's what we used to do in the old days, but we don't seem to do it so much these days.
Ian, you're absolutely right. Jack
That's the fella.
Collison. That
Jack
was the
Collison.
fella.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spot
Yeah.
on. Yeah, he was
Good.
a super player.
Good kid as
Shame
well.
about his injury. And 4 years since Ngakia broke through. Oh, time flies, doesn't it? Yeah, Collison. What a young player he was.
Great comment again from Barry. Yeah, you only know that you've got quality when they get game time. Anyone can look good in training, and this is the
Can't
truth.
argue with that.
Mm.
This is what we're kind of saying about.
That's what they said about you, Jeff, when you was playing, wasn't it?
What looked good in training? I didn't even look good in training, mate. But I turn up every week and I give it everything I had.
And that's all you can ask for from a player.
Yeah, I mean, we demand that from our players, don't we? I think all fans do, all football clubs, don't they? You don't always have to be the best, but if you turn out and you give it everything you've got, fans will love you.
Yeah.
So, so how do you feel about Thursday then, Tony? Do you think we're going to get a result there, or you think we're on a hiding to nothing?
I don't think we're going to be a hiding. I think we're going to, if like I said, as long as the Moyes gets his tactics spot on, and we're all well up for it, then it'll be a hard game. Us keeping the score sheet clean, I don't think we're going to be able to do that. They can score, but Leverkusen, they've proved that already this season. But we can.
And we can't keep clean sheets, can we?
That's the other thing as well. I mean, if we can do that, and even if it's one or dare to say it 2-0, there's still a chance we can get one goal back. It just changes things. But hopefully, we can see it out even as a draw at Leverkusen. I'll be very happy with that.
I think we can score as well. So, as much as I'm saying I take a 1-0, I mean, I would take a 1-0. But, I mean, 2-1, 1-1, even 1 goal deficit.
You'd be happy with that?
I don't think we want to be more than a goal down.
No, be happy with that.
But we'll see. I am nervous about it, I have to say. How is he getting on at Arsenal? Happy? I don't know if you know or not, but it'd be interesting to know if he's doing well there or not.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and it's sort of all this. There's so many, but at the end of the day, it's so difficult to become a professional footballer, right? And to become a top level or elite level footballer in the Premier League is even harder, right? So it's no wonder so many fall by the wayside. But yeah, I mean, Josh Cullen, he's gone off to Burnley, hasn't he? Dropped down the league, got promoted.
Yeah.
And he's playing every week for them and he does all right. I mean, I think he's one that perhaps might have been able to do a job for us. I don't think he starts every week for us, but I think maybe he could do a job for us as a squad player. But does he want to go and get football every week? He's at Burnley. He plays every week. He's like quite an integral part of their team. So
yeah.
I think you could knock him for that if his motivation is to go and play. That's what we're saying. Like
game time, isn't it? It's getting game time.
Yeah, they need to play. Moyes was smart and used 3 or 4 youth players as a sub or start the odd game. We would get big money for them and could help out not having to buy so many players as we got loads ready to break in. I really agree with that sentiment. This is clubs do that, don't they? Like Chelsea do that quite well.
Yeah,
they
but we don't want to get
youngsters through.
We've been caught out over the years, though, Jeff, in the fact that we've always, we think we've produced multi-million-pound players, and then the one thing the board never did was put selling clauses on them. Look at the money we lost out on Ferdinand, Carrick, Cole, the whole lot. where we didn't put on these add-ons.
Yeah, I think we're getting smarter now. I think we put a sell-on clause in on Ekwar, haven't we? Who's gone off to Sunderland. So I think we are, but I do think actually that's how crap our board's been for how long it's been crap, right? When it comes to buying and selling players, we are awful.
I was pleased that we got the money we did for Rice, because I think if you look at it, that was about time we got top money for a player.
Yeah, well, when was the last time we actually made money off of a player? We just make losses all the time. Oh, City 3-2 up.
That's come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
How can anyone be confident for Thursday release, Lee? I want to feel that.
I'm with you, Happy. I'm not confident about Thursday. I'm actually really quite nervous about it. But hopefully we'll get something out of that game.
It's all about that. It's all about that PMA, Happy Emirate. Positive mental attitude. We've got to all believe, they say. Got to believe.
Yeah, and Ian's saying he thinks that it's a harder tie than the potential semi-final, and he'd fancy us against either of those sides. Although Roma did beat Brighton 4-0, didn't they? Yes,
yeah.
So can't be any mugs, can they? Brighton are not. I mean, Brighton are a funny side, though, aren't they? I mean, they Arsenal just equalised as well.
Oh, have they?
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, Brighton will lose to someone next week and then hand out a thrashing to someone the week after, won't they? They're a bit up and down like that. Casey centre back, Luzial, Chester's right wing back, Scarles left back, Urfi, Moore, and Mubama. That's half a team. We wouldn't have to get so many in. It is. I don't know if they're all good enough. And I'm not saying that they're not good enough. I'm just saying I don't know enough about them to say whether they are or not.
I suppose it comes down to... Sorry, go on, mate, go on.
No, well, Casey's supposed to be a real prospect, isn't he? Young Dan Chester's, he's supposed to be really good. I don't know about the Brazilian fella. I'm not sure if he's top grade, but we'll see. Urfi's supposed to be really good, and Mubama. Well, I'm just not convinced by him, but I haven't seen enough of him.
I mean, like I say, the pre-seasons he did okay. He got, he's got quite a few, couple of goals in there, which didn't seem to be too bad. But after that, Moyes didn't play him at all in that respects.
Yeah, I think Happy's saying about Kenny's boy. He's doing okay at Arsenal, I guess, and scored a couple of goals from left back. So, good luck to him. Shame he's not at West Ham, but probably don't get the opportunities, right? So,
Scales.
He wrote Scales, did he? I didn't even notice that.
I think it all depends. If Moyes does go, it's who comes in, and do they like the youth teams and the setup and look to promote that? I think this is where we'll see the difference if we get a manager that's kind of not afraid to invest and use a youth. But currently with Moyes, we know that's not going to happen.
No, and this is where Barry makes a good point here, really. He says, he thinks if they play 5 games or more, they're automatically worth 20 million and more. So Mubama walks and he will be sold for 30 to 40 million at a half-decent club. And he's right, really. That's where I think we are. We don't do very well at that. Like, just throw them in for half a dozen games. Even if they're not worth 20 million, get 10 or 12 for 10 or 12 million seems to be enough pocket money in today's game. So they get a little bit of game time under their belt. Someone's going to pick them up if they're not going to make it at West Ham. And we failed dreadfully at doing that.
The only problem we've got there is when you look at when Mbamba has come on that, it's when Moyes brings him on the time.
It's no good.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way you can prove yourself. Don't matter what, even, grassroots level, it's not always easy to come on and prove you. You've got 5 minutes to try and do something.
No, definitely not. And it's not showcasing that they can't get into the game and the pace of the game.
No.
I'll let you sing that, Tony.
Yeah, I was going to say. Well, if there's anything like Budgie was on Sunday, and that it's going to be a decent tune from Budgie if that was the case. Getting prepped for that.
Happy say why would he use them to get them prepped for the next man in his seat? And I don't know what his logic is there. Happy saying Sully should have grown a pair, not let the manager run down his contract. The thing is, Happy, I think that's how Sully operates. He likes to do that. I don't know what his mindset is, but that's what he does, right? It's not the first time, is it? Did it with Allardyce, didn't he?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Here's how it can't be worse than Oggy, and when we have no centre backs, all about seeing is believing.
Okay. Yeah, well, we haven't seen anything of Oggy, and Zuma looks like we said earlier. Zuma actually looks like he's getting better with more games. He looked like he was really struggling, and the last few games he's
got a bit of movement there. Better. Yeah, he's got a bit of movement. Maybe he's having the old cortisone injections in his knees. I don't know. Could be that. Yeah, I agree with this one. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Mm.
I think Mavropanos is improving. I'm still not completely convinced, as some are, about how well he does in every game, but he definitely seems to be settling in, and he's improving all the time. And I think he's on the team sheet, is he?
Yeah, seems to be, doesn't he? Because Gerd, doesn't seem to want to play or is that a favour sense going on? Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely out of favour. He's injured, or he don't want to play, and he's upset the manager, and who knows, something going on there.
Mm.
And Barry agrees with Happy and says he's been brilliant at times, and he's doing really well now. And he's definitely improved. He had a few errors in him and misplaced passes, and he seems to have cut a lot of that out now. And actually, he's put in a couple of towering performances in a couple of the games, to be fair to him.
It's now 3-3 Real Madrid and City.
It's hit, blimey.
That's a game going on. And 2-2 in the other game.
Canio saying, remember, when it comes to picking youth over senior players, it's also about money and saving face. E.g. Phillips, he is toilet and a youth player should have his place, but he costs 100k per week to justify.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there probably is a bit of that.
Mm.
Moyes looks really, really poor if he's stuck his neck out for Phillips, and then he has to drop him out and bring a youth player in to do the role that he's brought him in for. And Moyes is not going to do that, is he?
I can't get that for radio.
And Happy says, I do feel sorry for Moogs though. He did get his chance earlier in the season, but under immense pressure to be Antonio's replacement.
Mm.
Yeah, and he didn't get loads of minutes, really, did he? I mean, he did. Where did he come on? Was it Sheffield United? No, not Sheffield United. He got a goal, didn't he, that didn't count? Was it Burnley? Can't remember where that was now.
But it was what it said, though, isn't it? It's a limited amount of time that they get. And sitting in, as you said, if you're in Antonio's shoes, there's big boots to fill. Now, regardless of his age, I mean, Antonio's still an athlete and a beast. and Mbamba's got to kind of live up to that kind of hype. And it comes down to the player as well. You know, the character, is he strong enough to kind of realise that if he's going to make it, he's got to step up more than what he's already doing. He's obviously kind of must be doing something right because he's on the bench, but he just needs to do that extra
Torne's
part.
on the bench and he's never getting any game time.
Well, I think there's a difference there, isn't it? You know, we look, he's more of a, you know, your classes, they're like the senior player, and Mbamba is basically a youth to be used for the future. But you know, it's just not happening.
Yeah.
So we've got the gaffer tape treatment.
Barry saying Moyes and Sullivan are stupid as each other. Everyone who's youth players add up to FFP, as all the money you get doesn't count. With FFP, they're meant to be money orientated. He's right. They are stupid as each other. And if as he was saying earlier, if give a player half a dozen games, give him a bit of game time, he's not going to make it at West Ham, but we move him on. Everything's pure profit as well.
Absolutely.
So, and we're going to lose Johnson for nothing, Mbama for nothing. Seems mad. Seems mad how they can let it happen. And then they're going to invest how much they're going to invest to replace these players, right? Doesn't make sense. Moves up front with Ings, seen it twice now. It's a tasty front line. Scored in the pre-season Spurs game.
Yep.
Yeah, I watched that game. Did you watch that game, Tony?
Yeah, good game. You know,
in Australia. Yeah, they battered us though, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. But I say,
I was
good performance.
I was terrified. I was watching that. I was thinking, God, this is a taste of what's to come. It's going to be a long, hard season for us. I know we won the game, but I think that's the only positive we could take out of it.
Yeah,
they smashed us.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, Ian's right here. Me and Mick spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, and we were saying about Zuma and how he literally can barely walk, never mind run. But it is his position, and at times he has still looked like our best defender, which is quite worrying because you look at his immobility, and I mean, get someone running at him, and you're just shitting your pants, aren't you?
Yeah, because he's left for dead at that stage, isn't he? There's no way he's catching up the player.
But I can't work out how he keeps getting further and further up the pitch. I keep seeing him in the opposing half and thinking, just don't go past the halfway line. You're never getting back. Yeah.
No illusion. Yeah, they were good. They were good in defenders. When he trusts to run, the Zuma.
Zuma, yeah. Sometimes Budgie saying, sometimes you have to be careful with youth players. We put Reece Oxford on such a high pedestal, and he ended up nowhere.
Yeah.
And we've kind of been saying that about some of the youth players that they do get a bit over elevated, and well, sometimes it's about attitude as well, though, isn't it? I mean,
there is that.
We had Ravel Morrison at the club. What a great footballer he was. He could have had the world at his feet.
Attitude stunk. That was the problem.
Absolutely stunk. And then his decision making was so. He threw his career away. How many chances would a guy get? I don't think there'd be many people who could have fucked up the way he did and been given so many opportunities and not take one of them.
Jesse Lingard.
Jesse
Lingard.
Maybe, but not to the same degree.
Oh no, you know what I mean. I mean, again, another one that kind of thought I'll go back to Man U and I'll be all right. Just like Calvin Phillips choosing Man City over us when everyone knew that you're not going to be playing for them in a month of Sundays. It's one of those, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So you go, be careful what you wish for. Well, we should all be careful what we wish for. I mean, it could be Graham Potter.
But you never know.
He's the bookie's favourite.
It could be a perfect fit. You just don't know. I mean, you got to think the character itself. Are they, or shall I say, has Potter learned by making a mistake to go into to Chelsea and that when you want to hide into nothing? Just like if you think about it, Moyes going to Man United and literally being thrown under the bus.
Well, I think he was thrown under the bus a little bit at Manchester United. I'm not sure he was ever going to succeed and be a wonderful Manchester United. And coming in after Fergie was always going to be a big ask.
But he did the wrong thing though, Jeff. He got rid of all the bloody coaching staff, all your knowledge and your experience, and he got shot of him to bring his own lot in. And it's like, if it was someone like, an Everton's us or someone Brighton's and things like that, fair enough. But you're talking about Man United. You don't do that. That was a sacrilege, really. He shot himself in the foot in my eyes.
Yeah, he didn't set himself up to succeed. I mean,
No.
He didn't get given loads and loads of money and loads of windows. But he used the money he had on Marianne Fellaini.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he was never going to be loved at Man United, was he?
No. Loved
by Moyes, but never going to be loved by Man United.
Would you have had him at West Ham, Fellaini?
I fucking hated him. He was a nuisance, right? I guess if he plays 4 years, one of them players that you might embrace, but I wasn't a big fan of it. I just kind of didn't like the way he played. I thought he was a little bit dirty, and yeah, well, I don't mind players playing on the edge.
Mm.
But
there's
so happy saying, so we've got a prediction here. Her head says that we're going to lose 3-1. Her optimistic head says we'll lose 1-0, and her heart says we're going to come away with a 6-0 win. So let's hope your heart wins out, Happy. That's super optimistic, though, isn't it?
Stuart Slater, underrated by most, but staunch when called upon. Absolutely. Yeah, great player.
Stuart Slater was a super player. He went off to Celtic, didn't he?
Mm.
And had a good career up there, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did well for them. Yeah. Yeah, Stuart Slater was a good player. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with this as well. Potter would play the youth lads, though. That's the difference.
Well, we definitely need somebody who will do that. I mean, there's lots of European names getting thrown around, and I must admit, I don't know a lot about some of these European managers, so I'm not in a position to have a strong opinion about it one way or the other. We spoke about it before, me and Budgie. We did a show. I quite like Eddie Howe. If he came available, I think he'd be quite a good fit for West Ham. I just think the way he plays, I think he develops players. I think he would bring youth players on. So I think he ticks a lot of boxes. And he'd give us a roller coaster ride. And a bit more like the West Ham way, I guess, than Moyes' stick in the mud style. I can't see what that emoji is.
100%.
Stuart Slater, one of my favourite ever players. One of the best individual West Ham performers I've seen. West Ham v Everton Cup quarter. I think Slater was a fine player.
Yeah. Wonder he never lost his tongue though. The way he kept running along the line with that tongue sticking out.
And Barry's just qualifying his comment, saying he's not saying he wants Potter, but he's got more about him than Moyes has. Fair enough.
Cool. Yeah. Can you imagine him, Dixie, Jones? Now
he's another player you love to hate, isn't he, Vinnie Jones? You know. But he was all or nothing, no nonsense. He was a bit of a thug, though. And we had a couple of those. I mean, we had Moncur, didn't we?
Yeah.
So he put himself about a bit.
Martin Allen and the great old one, Marco Bukas.
Martin Allen, mad dog.
Yeah. But the Marco Bukas one, he put himself about, that's for sure.
And Happy says Nagelsmann.
Nagelsmann.
I've heard his name mentioned. Yeah. We'll see.
I would take Eddie out at the moment, but I think he's the best person for the job. I said it last season when we took Newcastle to Champions. Yeah, I like him. I wouldn't mind Thomas Frank either as well, Brentford's manager. I wouldn't mind him.
I've seen a few people float Frank around. Do you know the thing for me is, I don't know how different he is to Moyes in a way.
I think he comes across
his team up in a similar way.
In a way, yeah. But I suppose again, you got to think his budget is less than what we've got. So maybe with a budget, you might see a little bit different. But I like his approach to the way he does things. It's a little bit different to Moisey.
I think he's a bit more fluid than Moyes tactically. But yeah, Budgie's saying about Stuart Slater being a cult hero. I think that is that's a real apt way to describe Stuart Slater, a cult hero.
Yeah.
Tricky little winger.
Proper
hard bastard.
Yeah, Potter rumors won't go away.
No, he's top of 15 to 8, I think he is.
Bloody hell, really?
It's pretty short, isn't it?
Yeah.
Considering there's no job available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true, he was, isn't he?
Yeah, good comment, Budgie. Yeah.
He was. He was definitely that.
I remember he caught the ball at Everton. How mad was that?
Oh, yeah.
He was an enigma, wasn't he, Di Canio?
A
real enigma of a player, yeah. Capable of absolute brilliance, and he could frustrate your life out of you. But I think Paqueta's in that mould as well, with the brilliance that he can offer you, and then the frustrating things that he does right alongside that.
Is his name Thomas or Frank? Can't be both.
Yeah.
Rumours that like could fancy Potter. Mind you, that Ian. He there's Southgate. There's even O'Neill. He's touted him as well.
Yeah. Do you see Gary O'Neill at Manchester United? I can't say I do.
I mean, it's this Ineos group, though, isn't it? It's what they're looking at. I mean, they can't be happy with what. I suppose they're kind of just seeing this season out with Ten Hag. It's not great considering what they want to achieve. But yeah, I can't see O'Neill there. But then look at Potter. I mean, blimey, if he goes there, then he hasn't learnt his lesson from Chelsea.
But if Ten Hag wins the FA Cup, does he keep his job? Yeah,
but 5-minute wonders are not there for, it's you want more than that, don't you? And if you're the new owner coming in, and especially you're doing the sports side of things, you want more. You're trying to get the club back to where it was. So Ten Hag, I don't think he's the answer, because how many more players from the Dutch league can he buy?
I think the thing is with Man United is there seems to be really toxic in the dressing room. Like we had a few years ago, there was that thing at Chelsea with like real player power and what have you, and that seems to be at Man United as well. I think in that dressing room, and it's hard to get rid of, but they need someone to come and sort that out.
the most evident thing out of that squad and that is you look at Marcus Rashford. Kid just don't want to be there now. His attitude absolutely stinks. Bit bloody cheeky for this.
Put season tickets up for it. Yeah, that's it's just Sully, in it. Like, you know, he'd be telling us. I mean, every year it's who we're going to sign in the transfer window and one thing another.
Yeah.
Well, it's season ticket renewal time, and you know, it's just he's
They're only following suit because bloody Arsenal's done it.
and,
I think it was Stoner Cooper. Oh, he mentioned that. Yeah.
I think Happy wants Rob Edwards though. She wants a bit of eye candy in the dugout. Ian saying the great thing about Di Canio is that he loves the club. Even now, when he talks about us, you can hear the passion and emotion in.
Absolutely.
One of our all-time greats for sure. Yeah, he is. He genuinely does love West Ham. And I heard something before. He offered to be an attacking coach for the club. And I don't think they took him up on it. But,
well, obviously, again, because if that's the case, then he'll upstage Sullivan, doesn't he? He becomes the face, you know, and you don't want that.
I mean,
Barry or Frank Thomas. That's just bad.
oh, like you said, sure if you asked PDC what he was thinking when he caught the ball, he'd say, Paolo, no light the cross. I would have to stretch to get it. He said he wanted to manage West Ham one day.
Big name, though.
But I think that would be a disaster.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a wonderful, wonderful character. But he's not a very good manager, is he?
No, we've seen that from his past ones.
And, Happy seems to approve of Rob Edwards.
For managerial purposes
only. For managerial purposes. Of course, Happy, only for managerial purposes. Yeah. So, well, I think I'm getting a bit tired, Tony, so I'm going to think about wrapping it up soon.
No, good, mate. I mean,
you know, anything tomorrow.
Nearly
just
2
like
hours,
to thank
mate.
everyone in the chat for joining us this evening. It's good to see you all, and if you haven't, please like and subscribe to the channel, and please visit Tony's channel as well. I'll give you a chance to shout your channel out in a minute, and if anyone wants to put their comments in after the show, put some predictions in, whether that be for Thursday's game or any managerial suggestions. Be great to see your comments, and I'll try and reply to them all over the next few days. I'll just whip through these last few comments. Imagine PDC buying 100% of the club. God, that would be a roller coaster ride, wouldn't it? Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Give the channel up, please. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Happy.
You're welcome,
Thanks,
Barry.
Barry. Thanks for coming. Good to see you.
Thanks, Happy Emirate.
Thanks, Happy. I'll see you Sunday.
Great show. Good chat.
Ian, thanks for coming.
You're
Tony, before we wrap it up, do you want to give your channel a shout out? Tell everyone where they can find you.
Yeah, sure. It's Early Doors Football TV. I actually do West Ham content as well as other contents, and I actually have many panelists from different clubs. And we have a good old chat. We do the Sunday night takeaway show, which Jeff was on this Sundays, and then tomorrow, 8:30, I'm doing the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly show with Anthony and Hot Fuzz. So that's going to be a good one to talk about, especially with the results over the last couple of days. So you find me obviously here on YouTube, all one word, Early Doors Football TV, on X, as well as obviously Insta and obviously Facebook as well. And Jeff, appreciate coming onto your show as well.
No, you're absolutely welcome. Thanks for coming in, Tony. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's good to have you. And hopefully everyone will join us next week and we'll be talking about a couple of positive results. That would be great. Good night, everyone. Thanks for coming. See you soon.
Take care, all.